Okay, good. All right, good evening, everyone. I'm so glad to have you all here tonight.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
I keep forgetting to wait for Siri to tell us what we should do, but okay. um, anyway, it's Thursday, April 21st, 6:30 p.m., and I'd like to welcome everyone to the Village of Royal Palm Beach Council meeting. I'm going to ask everyone to please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, but remain standing after for a moment of silence and observation and remembrance of the tragic loss of two very fine young students that happened here in the village. So join me, I'd appreciate it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. I also would like to wish continued recovery to the other two students who were injured badly in that accident. Hopefully they continue to get well, and hopefully they can get back to being 100%. I'm not sure of the level nature of all of their injuries, but my understanding was that they have been sent home and they are recovering at home now. So thank you. Um, Tonight we start out with a proclamation. Before I do that, Diane, please let the record show that all members of council are present.
Yes, Mayor, I will.
Mitty was just getting ready to remind me. That's okay. I'd like to talk about issue a proclamation called Water Conservation Month. Whereas water is a basic and essential need of every living creature, and whereas the state of Florida water management districts and the village of Royal Palm Beach are working together to increase awareness about the importance of water conservation. And whereas the village of Royal Palm Beach and the state of Florida has designated April, typically a dry month when water demands are most acute, Florida's Water Conservation Month, to educate citizens about how they can help save Florida's precious water resources. And whereas the village of Royal Palm Beach has always encouraged and supported water conservation through various educational programs and special events, and whereas every business, industry, school, and citizen can make a difference when it comes to conservation and conserving water, and whereas every business, industry, school, and citizen can help by saving water, thus promote a healthy economy and community. And now, therefore, be it resolved that by the virtue and authority vested in this council and this village, we hereby proclaim the month of April as Water Conservation Month. The Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida is calling upon every citizen and business to help protect our precious resource by practicing water-saving measures and becoming more aware of the need to save water. And here's the actual proclamation. I'll turn that over to the village clerk. Another announcement I'd like to make tonight has to do with our local Captain Rick Naox. There he is in there. I'd like to share some wonderful information about something he's just achieved. Captain Naox attended the FBI National Academy, which is a professional course of study for the U.S. and international law enforcement managers nominated by their agency heads because of demonstrated leadership and qualities. This 10-week program, which provides coursework in intelligence theory, terrorism and terrorist mindsets, management science, law, behavioral science, law enforcement communication, and forensic science, serves to improve the administration of justice in police departments and agencies at home, abroad, and to raise law enforcement standards, knowledge, and cooperation worldwide. I'd like us to congratulate Captain Naox on his achievement. We're very proud of him. Okay. Proclamations. We're going to do our reports now, and I'd like to start out with some information sharing. As you know, this morning it's the third Thursday of the month, so the Transportation Planning Agency held its board meeting. There were no specific action items that occurred, but there were some information points I'd like to share with everyone that happened at the meeting today. One is Belgrade issued, it was announced they had issued a resolution regarding something called Vision Zero. And I think that the state may have changed the name of that and called it Target Zero. But Vision Zero is a state initiative where they're asking all metropolitan planning, transportation planning organizations to adopt policies and mitigating actions to make our roads safer, to cut down on the number of accidents that we have and through the state. And the concept of Vision Zero is our goal should be is to get to zero accidents, zero fatalities on the road. Now, is that an impossible objective to achieve? Some may think it is, but if we want to move the needle on this issue, we need to take it seriously. We need to be aggressive in saying that's the target we want to shoot for. What are the things we can do to try to make that happen? To that end, I wanted to mention that to the council and ask if we should ask the village manager or the clerk to get a copy of their resolution, and perhaps we can take a look at it. I'm really interested in knowing exactly what they had in their resolution on the actionable items that they think they'd like to take to try to address this. So we have a consensus on that?
Absolutely. Sure. Makes sense to me.
Yep. We'll get it, right? Which one? We'll get it? Okay, thank you very much.
Then look at it.
Another announcement that was made, which is something that's been a long time coming. I don't know if any of you ever have the opportunity to travel west on State Road 80, which takes you out to the Glades area. But if you travel that road at night, you know it's completely pitch black. There's no light at it there at all. And that has, for many years, been looked upon as a very unsafe circumstance. Mayor Wilson, who's been the mayor for Belgrade for a number of years, has been asking and petitioning to try to get some lights out there. And we were able to, we being the Transportation Planning Agency, were able to address this about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, that we came up with a mechanism that the TPA could pay for having lights placed out there. And it took the cooperation and support of other cities because the funding that the TPA wanted to use, they wanted to advance funds for projects that other cities had already put in place with TPA, and they agreed to do that. The bottom line is the key thing that had to happened last week where the county commissioner signed a letter interlocal agreement saying that they will pay for the ongoing maintenance and operations of these lights. So you're going to see lights put up along State Road 80. So when you go west, it'll be a lot safer to do that. So that was a significant achievement to get to that point. The other area was, and I wanted to make sure our council knew about this. The village is in the process of where we had asked the TPA to do a State Road 7 corridor study, so we can get more intelligence about what the future of that corridor that's part of the village on State Road 7 should look like as we go into the future and we make decisions on things happening in that area. There's going to be a public workshop on this to get public input on May 10th, 2022. I invite anyone who's interested in attending this to get more information. Just go to the Transportation Planning Agency website and you will be able to find this information. But that's something that I just want to let sure all of you know, and maybe you might want to put it in your calendar. With that, I think we'll start with you, Jen.
Thank you. Good evening. No report this evening, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you all know, our Education Advisory Board normally meets on the second Monday of the month. In the month of April, though, we use that meeting to conduct the interviews for the village scholarships. We have 10 $1,000 scholarships that we award every year to graduating seniors who are residents in Royal Palm Beach. This year we received 23 applications, which, while it's a rather low number, it's up from last year substantially. And what we do is review, the board reviews those applications and picks out what they consider to be the top 15 applicants then to actually participate in an interview. Well, that interview will be taking place this Saturday, and it's always an inspiring kind of an activity. Get a chance to listen to those young men and women talk about their view of the future, their own future, the future of the community, the nation. Bless you. And those things really are a reason to have hope for our future, no doubt about it. So we're looking forward to those interviews. They begin at 9 o'clock and will be completed around 2 p.m. and that's this Saturday, and they'll be conducted right in that conference room over there. So that completes my report.
Okay.
Will we do a presentation in May?
The presentation of scholarships will be at the May
The May council meeting?
Yep.
We can do them live again and in person?
I'm sure we will be able to do that
I think that's probably the way we probably do it, yes.
unless there's some
Thing,
other
we-
consideration.
Fun to see the
all the
kids.
horses are out of the barn now, so we may as well let those horses out of the barn too. Richard,
Oh, no report this evening, Mr. Mayor.
okay. Selena.
Good evening, everyone. We had a lot from the recreation department. So we have youth programs. The middle school volleyball is up and running, and they have 70 participants who are on there. It's ages 11 to 13. Vivid Taylor music program is back again. She did one recently and now doing another one out there. So she's doing piano, voice, and theater. And Petite Academy of Dance is taking registration again. Summer camp is also currently enrolling, and they're doing ages from 5 to 13 with our rec center. And then they're doing a specialty and sports camps, and then those are for ages 4 to 14 over there as well. You can currently register for the Adult Basketball League, and that starts next month. The senior meal program is still going on over at the rec center, and that's for 60 and over. It's Monday through Friday at 12 noon, and you must call to register because they'll ask you a couple questions. It's 561-753-1241, and that's a free meal program for the seniors. And then the Young at Heart has 2 lunches left, and they're going to start doing their registering for the next season in September. So they're hoping to add more to it. So they had a limited limited membership this year just because of social distancing.
So you're saying that you got 2 more lunches?
We have 2 more lunches, so there's
May?
one in May and June. And
They
June's their
break
summer
for-
one.
They break for the summer?
Correct.
Wow.
And then the lunches start back up again in
Seems like
October.
you get started up again. That's,
Yes, to go through. So they're hoping to get more of them. They were doing the social
Okay.
distancing and leaving that. We had our seafood festival a couple weeks ago. So over the 2 days, there was around 15,000 people in attendance. So it's nice that that's back up. And then the bike trail rodeo that they did the following week and after that, and they had about 75 people in there who did that. And there were 3 different courses that they mapped out.
Numbers up too. That's good.
That yes.
Yeah.
So it's still getting there. And I do like how they have the multiple courses. So you can do a 3, a 5, and a 7.
Based on your level of
Right. Or the heat index.
good shape you're
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's another great free event, and PBSO's out there as well, so they do bike safety and pass out some stuff. We
Okay.
have concert in the park, so the 1st and 3rd Fridays of the month, and then the Green Market on Saturdays, and that's just right out here from 9 to 1. We're getting ready. Cultural Diversity Day is Saturday, May 14th over at Veterans Park, and that starts at 1 o'clock. The community band are starting they have 2 concerts coming up, and that's over at the Cultural Center. They do a Mother's Day because their events are during the week. So it's the Mother's Day concert's going to be Tuesday, May 17th, and then they're doing a summer concert June 28th. And those both start at 7 o'clock over at the Cultural Center. And then we have a Memorial Day event May 30th at Veterans Park starting at 9 o'clock. There are a couple projects that they've been working on that will hopefully finish in May. So the skate park out by the rec center was relocated to the RC track. And that old site where the skate park was is now converted into 4 lighted pickleball courts. So that was something that our residents brought up to us that they'd wanted. So we've converted that. And then Camellia Park tennis courts will be resurfaced as well. And that completes my report.
Okay. Very good. Great.
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. League of Cities membership meeting is next Wednesday, and the topic at the general membership meeting will be hurricane preparedness. But after the general membership meeting, and this is at the City of Green Acres, by the way, is the annual elected officials workshop. This is not the ethics training. This is more the nuts and bolts of being an elected official. If any of you are interested in attending that elected officials workshop, you can RSVP through the league office. And then May 25th is the annual installation banquet at the Kravis Center, and that also will require an RSVP if you would like to attend that event. And that is my report for this evening.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for all the reports. That concludes our reports. Now, next on the agenda is anyone here have a petition they'd like to present to the Village Council? Come on up. Okay, you are Linda Marino?
Marino.
Okay.
Yes. I don't have a petition this evening. What I have
What's
is
your name? Yeah, for the record, yes, thank you.
Linda Marino, 124 Cypress Trace, Royal Palm Beach.
Okay.
I don't have the petition in hand because it wouldn't print out. But I
wouldn't
will be
print?
speaking and
Oh.
addressing you this evening. It's a online petition. We
Okay.
have 1,094 signers as of 4 o'clock. It's very important to us, and I'm going to just speak on the petition. As you know, on March 22nd, there was a very bad, tragic accident. The petition says we have had 13 traffic accidents in 2021. We have had 3 traffic accidents so far in 2022. On March 22nd, our community experienced the most tragic accident to date. This tragic accident resulted in the loss of life from the most vulnerable in our community and society, our youth. We have a community in mourning. To add to the traffic issue, we have 2 churches, multiple community residents, their guest delivery services, general services, all trying to access Crestwood Boulevard. Our community demands something is done. The loss of life to us, the everyday trial and tribulations to proceed to an intersection. Okay, it's every day. You could have 10 on record and there's 10 more. So with this petition, which I'm going to get to you, we only have the link and it's not acceptable, but I promise you we will get to it. And by the time you get it, it will be over 1,200. But I'd like to speak on something that I prepared. It's under 3 minutes. I'm the president of the Estates of Royal Palm Beach, the HOA Association. I'm going into my 3rd year. My whole life I've been, are you going to stop the clock? Okay.
Don't worry about it. Go
My whole life I've been a humanitarian in New York. I was the honoree for the Girl Scouts of America, other community efforts, schools anemia. So I also am a community activist. Tonight I come here before you, and I'm going to get to the point with all due respect, and I like to say it's very nice to see faces with the names that we vote for. It's very important to see that. And I'm going to appeal to you. I told you my name, I told you where I'm from. Okay, I'm here tonight to appeal to you to install a traffic light on Crestwood Boulevard and Cypress Lakes Drive. On March 22nd, 2022, in the darkness of night and the beginning of daylight, we had a horrific tragedy. Whether a light would have saved lives that day is debatable. Everybody has an opinion. I have presented, and I will present to you tonight, to this council, correspondence I have from the county commissioner, Miss McKinley, which clearly states to me, and I have it here for the record, oops,
ahead, continue.
okay, that you, she says, have the final say in putting a traffic light. Noting she would not push back on it and the county would maintain the said light. As a traffic study was done in less than a 2-week time frame, they say it's not needed. Tonight, I present to you our study, the residents. The Department of Transportation states one main factor to install a traffic light is to enhance safety. Consideration of how many accidents in the history, the surrounding factors, peak traffic volume, traffic growth, complicated roadways, and a design curved default. And I will add to that speeding. Now to the intersection itself. We have a community with our entrance and exit being also used by 2 churches. They have the same access as we do. And another community across the street is Kensington, all trying to enter onto Crestwood Boulevard, okay? The medium area where it's open to pass, you cannot fit more than a regular pickup truck, okay? A bus can't go through, so there's constant hits, constant spin arounds, okay? And nobody knows when's the right time to go. Okay, to add to this, the expansion of Southern Boulevard, where it went from the old 2 lanes, 3 lanes, 6 lanes. This roadway, okay, also cuts through Crestwood Boulevard. To add more insult to injury, a beautiful community was built, Westlake. But what do the people do when they're in a hurry to go home to their loved ones? And hopefully they get there. They also cross through Crestwood Boulevard. It's the most dangerous task daily. Many years ago, this village or the county placed the beautification project in place. And I have to commend you on the work you do in the village, the beautiful parks, okay, and the facilities at the Commons. But in this medium was placed oak trees. It was a beautification so we don't have barren roads. Over time, those trees now tripled in size and blocked the visibility of a sharp curved road. These factors show the need for a traffic signal for the safety of all. Our seniors and the parents of new drivers fear for their lives. The most experienced drivers have trouble approaching this intersection. The statistics show crash history in 2021, 12 accidents on record. I assure you there's 10 more that you didn't hear about, that we see, that I get called from my guard with the post orders to notify. Yes, there's another accident. A car's here, a car's in the road, a car spun out. There's cursing in the street, okay? 12 on record, not to mention the daily occurrences of spin-outs, bumper crashes, blowing of horns, and agitated drivers. In 2022, just 3 months in, we've already had 3 accidents, 1 with fatalities. I ask you tonight, what is a life worth? What are 2 lives worth? What will you lose? I hear you talking about all the programs, the lunches, the roads, the lighting. What will you lose by putting this traffic lighting, for joining us in the fight? The residents. Okay, what will we gain? I want to answer. Safety, maximum control of the intersection, a sign right away, enforcement, streaming of traffic flow, protection for both vehicles and pedestrians. Do we together not want to be the persons who have said no to adding a traffic light? No, we want to say yes, because when we have another accident, we know that we could have prevented it. So tonight I appeal to you. I have 2 moms from the accident here. Okay, one lost a child and one son is home. He still can't go to school. Okay, this tragedy, I have to tell you, as president of my association, I went home and I was broken to see lives in the street. And we all know you can only do so much, the attorneys know. You can't give the real things that happen. You can't say that children are laying there, but we're going to put them on life support. I appeal to you as a humanitarian, as a person that dedicated my life the way you're giving back, to do something. Don't push this back to the county. Okay, bureaucratic politics is not what this is about. This is about saving lives. I have residents that are afraid to go pick up their medicine at Publix, that are afraid to go out to get milk, okay? So tonight, with over 1,000 signatures on a petition, please be proactive. We are the residents, the taxpayers, and voters of Royal Palm Beach. Thank you, and it was a pleasure meeting you.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Let me clarify a couple of points. First of all, I don't know why you got something from the county commissioner, McKinley, saying that we had the authority to do this. That is not true. All right, that is an absolute not a fact. We have no authority at the village, at the city level, to put a light there or put a light anywhere in that regard. Now, let me be clear about this because the facts are, you mentioned it, they did conduct a traffic study for that intersection. There are certain statutes and rules and regulations that the people who do these engineering studies on traffic have to follow to make a determination whether or not the traffic flow or the circumstances warrant a light to be placed there. That has been done officially. The report has been published. I don't know if you've seen your report, but the report clearly stated that it did not meet the warrants. So the county has taken a process where they did the study and they've determined a light is not warranted there. There's nothing we can do about that. Okay, this is not, no, you made a comment that this was politics. This is not politics. This is following the law. Legally, we have no recourse, no capability to make a light happen there as long as the county has taken a decision that they don't think one is warranted there. Those are the facts.
Right.
Now, what I was hoping, go ahead, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I did want to say something.
Yeah.
With all due respect, Mayor Pinto, I have a letter from Melissa McKinley.
I just said that's inaccurate. I don't care what you got from McKinley.
Well, as a commissioner voted in by the voters of Palm Beach County, you would think that she would address it. One of her statements is, the city has a history of approving traffic lights that are unwarranted. The county does not. The city and county have drafted an agreement. She personally spoke to you. I'm not going to debate, and I respect you.
No,
I respect what you're saying, but I want
I'm giving you the facts, and the information that you're reading here that is been presented to you is not correct.
Okay, well, I'm going to pass it on. I'm not going to.
Well, no. Let me
Okay,
finish. You can sit down. You don't have to stand there.
Okay, I want to put this in the record. Thank you.
Yeah. Now
Thank you, counsel.
here's what I was anticipating to happen tonight. I thought we were going to get an actual petition. All right. Now, I think you know this. Petitions have to meet a certain standard of certification. For example, you said this petition was done online. You're going to have to be able to demonstrate that you didn't have people logging in from California, saying, yeah, they agree with this petition and signing it. All right? It's got to be citizens who are people who are citizens in the village of Wall Palm Beach. Having said that, when do you anticipate actually giving us the petition?
Well, the petition should be ready by the end of the week because once we went online to draft it, I'm not computer savvy.
Right, yeah. We can't, that's not, we can't, we have to have an actual petition presented to us. We can't go in, yeah.
I don't want to disrespect or debate you. What I'm saying is, when a person in Palm Beach County, Royal Palm Beach, addresses the issue, these people here tonight are hurting. Okay, we are one. And when we go to the county commissioner and she says it's on your plate, I have to.
Hold it. Yeah, we want to record what you're saying.
I have to bring that forward, Mayor. So I'm not going to debate, but I'm going to show you. You have her letter in hand. There's other comments she made, that she called you, that she's waiting for you to sign her agreement. She will not hold back. Okay, it's all in writing.
All right, let me give more clarity to. She did call me, and we did have a conversation, but the conversation we had something to do with a memorandum of understanding that the county has been working with us and with all cities for the last 2 years. It has to do with the county wanting cities to take responsibility for striping and other maintenance on county roads. And we did not agree with that. All the cities didn't agree with that. It's been talked about between staffs. It's going on 2 years now. She mentioned that there was some memorandum that was put together that we haven't seen. We don't know what it says. And she indicated that they will not sign that, right? The problem is that memorandum has nothing to do with the state statutes and the rules that are in place already. But the real issue is the county staff has already looked into this and made an official report. So what is she saying? That the county's going to break the law and go against their own official report on what the findings are? I don't know. I can't speak for them. I'm just asking a question. Is that what's being? But I'm telling you, with that information that you've got, I don't know how long ago it was. Maybe it was before she realized that she had misinformation on this, but that's not true. If there was something we could do about this, we would. We do not have. And that comment about we've had a history of putting in lights illegally, that's just false.
She answered.
I'm not going to debate anymore what she said. I already answered that. All right. If you don't want to accept those facts, I don't know what to say to you.
But I would like you to look into it.
No, here's what we're going to do. here's how, it's nothing, it's not, I'm not going to get into a contest with the county about this, because that's not going to benefit anyone, okay? We need to go understand the state law is in place. We can't break state law, neither can the county either, okay? When you give us the petition, how she gives us a petition, should she bring it into the village clerk? Because it has to be officially registered with us, right?
The village clerk would be an appropriate
Place to give it?
to present it. I mean,
All right, so when you have it, please bring it in and give it to our village clerk. And here's what we're going to do. One moment, sir. I'll give you a moment to speak, okay? What we're going to do with that is I'm going to ask this council to vote on us formally transmitting that petition to the county for official comment.
Thank you.
Now, what does that mean? Well, there may be other options, other things that the county can do to help mitigate the traffic congestion issue or the traffic issues that you referenced. There may be other things they can do over and above not putting a light in. I don't know, but that will give them the opportunity, and it gives us the ability. It's the only action we can take to say, hey, my citizens have a concern here. Here's the petition. We'd like you to look at this and comment on it.
Yes.
Okay?
I appreciate that, and I'm going to tell you, I'm aware of the Florida statutes, and I'm also aware that at some point, maybe, they tried to just appease me, because you'll also find my email. A study done after an accident. I have a family here that the mother cannot go by the site with the memorial.
Sure.
She can't face it. Many of us, I couldn't myself, I had to go through the back gate. So to bring in a study and do it 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, a traffic study. What time were you there? Did you see the churches? What time did they do it? How many days? Okay, these are the statistics that really count. And you're right, you're 100% right. There's other options. We could have a light that's only for the high volume. We could have a blinking light. We could have a four-way stop, but do something. That's the point.
I'm not trying to suggest what those options are.
Right.
I don't know, and the county would have to determine if they have other options to try to
Right.
address
Well,
this
I called,
other than the light.
I called the Department of Transportation, MUT, whatever it is. I spoke to them. I've called engineers. I'm just asking for you to commit to help us. That's all I'm asking this council for.
We will take, as I indicated, the action that we can take, we will take. We will make a formal submission to them of your petition, and we will ask for comment,
Right.
formal comment.
Because I'm going to tell you, the newscasters, you've never seen me on the news. You've seen some residents ask me every day. On Tuesday, they asked if we wanted to sue the municipality. I'm not here for trouble, okay? I'm not commenting on things. What I'm trying to do is help people in need, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you. Go ahead.
Yes.
If I can ask a question, because I'm quite familiar with that intersection because of the church my children go to, and I don't live too far from there. Am I wrong in thinking, because to me, in my interactions with the intersection, the problem is, say you're coming out of the church or the estates, it's people making a left, going into that median, and then trying to negotiate heading south, or on the opposite side, people going out, getting into the median, and trying to head north.
Exactly.
That seems to me, I'm not an engineer. I don't profess to know these things, but I see a lot of people here tonight, and I agree with you, and I believe the mayor and everyone else agrees with you. We have a problem that we want to look at, and we want to try to solve it. One thing that just jumps to me, hey, it might not be warranted. The county could say no. How about a right turn only out of the estates? How about a right turn only across the street? Then guess what? You're not going to have, because every day I live right off Southern Boulevard. I've had accidents on Cypress Key Way. People have died there, but they expanded Southern. Now guess what? You can't go out and make that left. But what you do have to do is go out, make a right, and then make a U-turn to try to go back against 3 lanes of Southern Boulevard. And you also have an out-turning lane from Cypress Key, which I'm on the council here. I've been clamoring for a light there for quite a long time. And you know what I've heard every time? Guess. It's not warranted. I can't get the light because it's not warranted. But the fact that a light might not be warranted doesn't mean that's the end of the ball game, that maybe there is some other thing we can look at. And I think, I'm sure from the people, the county can do, but we can look at and possibly say, hey, these may or may not. And I would defer to the village manager, who's an engineer, but there could be other options to remedy this situation, because we do have a problem, and it kills me that these two children who my son rode on the bus to school with will no longer ride on that bus to school with them. It's terrible. As a parent, I can't understand
It is terrible.
how you can go on. It's horrible. But I absolutely, and I think, I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I'm sure the rest of the council agrees with me. If there's something we can do, and we can do to help along and fix this problem, I'm committed to doing it. I mean, as the mayor said, look, there's parameters, there's legal things, that's all well and good, but that doesn't mean we can't do the things that we do have control over, or things that we can do to help. And I hope everyone gets this message, because there's nothing more important than the safety of our residents, and particularly our
And
kids.
lives, to save lives. And I'd also like to add, I don't know if it was the county after the accident, okay, which, like I said, we were broken, okay, to see the people, to see what we saw that morning, shoes with no feet in them socks, okay, and actually I'm not going to get graphic, but they brought in a sign, speed limit, 40 miles per hour. They brought in another sign, slow down. You know how long that lasted? 2.5 weeks. So what does that tell you? Okay, I'm not looking for anything but compassion for these families, for the people, for my residents, the elderly, the sickly. With the pandemic, didn't we have enough? Didn't we endure so much? Is this something? We're a beautiful Western community, okay? And years ago, it was just a quiet place to live. My community is a gem. Property values are up 35%. But when you have horrific tragedies at your entrance, and people have to risk their lives to go to a doctor's appointment or to the store, that's a real tragic situation. So I thank you once again.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's a gentleman had his hand up. Please come up.
My name is Don Green, 161 Cypress Trace, Royal Palm Beach. My question is, does the petition only for Royal Palm Beach or for Palm Beach County? Would you say you couldn't be signing a petition unless you were Royal Palm Beach? Since that's a county road, it should be the entire county, I
It's a
believe.
good question. Keith, it's a good question.
I'm looking.
Okay.
Our policy contemplates the village acting on village streets.
Village residents.
In the
Yeah.
within the
Streets,
village. It
even
doesn't-
though it's a county road, it's within our village.
But it's, again, it's a
So it should
county,
be-
as you said, it's a county
Yeah, but
issue.
it's within the confines of the village, so it should be residents of the village.
So the petition can only be good for residents of the village.
Well, it's being presented to,
Sounds
the-
like a contradiction.
no, it's not. It's being presented to the local government for the village. So it's a representation of a concern that residents in our village have. We can't act on concerns from residents from other cities.
So a person across the street who could be right across, is Crestwood, Lockhatchee's on the other side of the road, right?
No, the other side of the road is village.
That's,
Yeah.
that's the village.
Yeah. Okay? But good question. Thanks for asking. Good.
If I could ask
Go ahead.
the village
And
manager
the only other
or
thing
the
I
village
would
legal-
offer, Mayor, our policy does not require any particular minimum number of
No.
signers to the petition. So whether it's 1,000 people and 900 or from outside
Yeah.
the village,
whatever.
I think it contemplates even one person being able to petition the
It
village
could be a petition.
council.
That's
So,
correct. Yeah. Well, the more the merrier, obviously. I mean,
And my question was
Go ahead.
about, as far as village residents, what about business owners in the village who may live elsewhere but
They have
have a
businesses in
business
the
in the
village?
community?
Yeah, again, I just think as long as there's one,
Some
that would
Okay.
be. It doesn't.
vested
It doesn't.
interest of some
so
sort.
that's it. Yeah.
It doesn't make it more. There's no threshold with that number. So.
Okay, thank you.
And I would say petitions with name and addresses is better than one without the addresses.
Yes, that makes a difference. All right, I'm going to close public comment to items not on the agenda, but before I do that, is there anyone else who'd like to comment? Do we have any comments prior? submitted?
No, Mayor.
All right. Ray, do you have anyone out there online who has their hand raised who would like to comment items not on the agenda?
No, I do not, Mayor.
All right, I'm going to close public comment on items not on the agenda. We'll give everyone a chance to depart. We'll just take a 30-second recess. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, we're back in session. Do we have any public comments submitted prior for items on the consent agenda?
No, Mayor.
Do you have anyone, Ray, out there with their hands raised for comments on the consent agenda?
No, Mayor.
Okay, I do not have any comment cards submitted to me on items on the consent agenda. Does anyone here would like to comment on the consent agenda? All right, seeing none, I'm closing public comment on the consent agenda and ask Diane to please give us the consent agenda.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you. Number 1, approval of the minutes of the council annual organization meeting of March 17th, 2022, and council regular meeting of March 17th, 2022. 2, approval and authorization in accordance with established policy to make a budget amendment for Fund 303 in the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget. Said amendment to transfer a total of $40,000 from State Road 80 streetlight poles, PW 2103, to school zone flashing beacons, PW 2107. 3, approval and authorization in accordance with established policy to make a budget amendment for Fund 303 in the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget. Said amendment to transfer a total of $60,000 from State Road 80 streetlight poles, PW 2103, to streetlight replacement LED, PW 2102. 4, approval and authorization in accordance with established policy to make a budget amendment for Fund 303 in the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget. Said amendment to transfer a total of $20,000 from kayak rentals, PR 2212, to Catskill renovations, PR 2215. 5, approval and authorization in accordance with established policy to make a budget amendment for Fund 001 in the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget. Said amendment to create a new permanent part-time position and transfer a total of $2,500 from other services professional 511-3190 to salaries and wages 512-1299. 6, approval of a special event permit for Pet Supplies Plus to hold a Love Your Pets event at 11051 Southern Boulevard, Suite 160, within the Southern Palm Crossing. The event will take place on Saturday, April 23rd, 2022, from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. 7, approval of a special event permit for Advanced Critical Care, Emergency and Specialty Services, Palm Beach County, to hold a 1-year anniversary celebration and open house event at 10465 Southern Boulevard. The event will take place on Saturday, April 30th, 2022, from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. 8, approval of a special event permit for the Village of Royal Palm Beach to hold a Cultural Diversity Day at Veterans Park on Saturday, May 14th, 2022, from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. 9, approval of a special event permit for the Village of Royal Palm Beach to hold a Memorial Day service at Veterans Park on Monday, May 30th, 2022, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. 10, approval and authorization for the village manager to enter into an agreement with Odom Sod for the renovations of 2 soccer fields in Cats Soccer Complex. This project, PR 2215, is budgeted in account number 302-7200-572-6387 in the amount not to exceed $170,000 by piggybacking the School Board of Palm Beach County contract number 17C70Q, valid through June 21st, 2022. 11, approval to purchase fireworks and pyrotechnician services from Zambelli International Fireworks Manufacturing Company, Incorporated, for the annual display at the July 4th celebration being held at Royal Palm Beach Commons Park in the amount of $50,000. Purchase is in accordance with Purchasing Ordinance Number 630, Section 10-98. 12, approval to purchase and have installed 2 playground shade structures for Todd Robner Park from Miracle Recreation Equipment Company in an amount not to exceed $60,000 using Sourcewell contract number 01051 LTS. This item is budgeted in project PR 2206. 13, approval and authorization for the village manager to execute the first addendum to the Food and Beverage Services Agreement with Eats and Teas Holding LLC to provide additional office space on the first floor of the Commons Park Sporting Center for an additional rental fee of $100 per month commencing May 1st, 2022, and continuing through the term of the current agreement.
All right, if there are no comments from members on council, we're going to the consent agenda. I'll look for a motion.
Actually, may I pull consent agenda item number 2, please?
2. Okay. Any other items? All right, I'll look for a motion to approve consent agenda item minus item 2.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have no opposed. Diane, let the record show. Consent agenda was approved with the exception of item 2, and we'll hear.
Just real quick, and thank you very much, Paul, for coming in. I'm sorry to bring you out here. I just, so that's okay. Take your time.
Wow, in
That's all right.
person, Paul.
But you're very
what's,
effective, so thank you very much.
And first of all, before you ask my question, it is absolutely wonderful to be here and to see everyone's faces.
Thanks. Thank
Likewise.
you.
It's been a while.
Thanks. And thanks for coming in. I just want to know for clarification on it because it says that it's the school zone flashing beacons. So, and it's on Crestwood. So are these additional or are they
Well,
replacing?
That project envisioned, there's a requirement to evaluate all of our school zones for flashing beacons. Similar to when you go to Royal Palm Elementary on Okeechobee, county has flashing beacons. We had that evaluation done, and then in conjunction with the review of that with Chris, we made the decision to put them at Cypress Trails Elementary, Crestwood Middle School, and H.L. Johnson. At the same time that was going on, we had a request put into the county to allow rapid flashing beacons on Crestwood Boulevard at Park Road and Sparrow Drive. The county wasn't very, they didn't want to do it, but we went through the permitting process and they finally allowed us to do that. And what those are is a pedestrian can come, push that button, and it actually is a rapid flashing. The drivers, they really work. The drivers pay more attention to that. And oftentimes, these mornings are dark. So it provides that added level of safety for the kids crossing at those 2 locations. And in the process of doing that, because we never like to slow it all down, we just keep it going. But we evaluated. Chris and I took a look at H.L. Johnson. We actually had a mid-cross there, so we added one there too. So that's where the additional funds are going to be used to put those in.
Okay, so then it is planned to do it on the other portions, and this is just the additional one based on the study that you guys did.
Yes.
Okay.
And
it's
this just gave us an opportunity to try and get it done this year.
okay, thanks. And it's the flashing beacons then for
Rapid flashing
the
for-
crossing.
for Crestwood Boulevard and at H.L. Johnson.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And you're looking good. Thanks for coming
Any,
in.
thank you. Any other questions for you? Good.
Thank you. Good
Thank
seeing
you.
you, Paul.
Thanks. I make a motion to approve consent agenda item number 2.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have no opposed. Diane, please let the record show. Consent agenda item number 2 was approved 5-0. All right, we'll move to the regular agenda. The first item, R1, is a public hearing to consider application number 21-82. An application by Nelson Posada from Gently Birth Center and OBGYN, an adoption of resolution number 22-08, confirming the council's action. The applicant is seeking special exception use approval for a birthing center for a property located at 1490 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard. This is a quasi-judicial process, so I'll ask someone to be sworn in.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Posada, could you approach the podium and state your name for the record, sir? And Bradford, if you're out there on the interweb, could you also be sworn in? Thank you. Can you both raise your right hands for me? Do you both swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll turn back to the council and ask if there are any ex parte disclosures that need to happen on this item.
Just the
Thank you.
staff.
Thank you.
Staff, yeah. Okay. Bradford, I think you're there.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. The applicant is seeking a special exception use approval to establish a birthing center in a commercial building zoned office commercial and located at 1490 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard in the Village Professional Park. The proposed birthing center use is allowed in the CO zoning district as a special exception use. In reviewing this petition, village staff considered conformity with the Village of Royal Palm Beach Code of Ordinances, Section 2632F4, special exception applications, specifically that the special conditions and circumstances exist which are peculiar to land. And on August 18th, 2021, Village Council approved a zoning code text amendment to allow birthing center as a special exception use within the office commercial zoning district. In reviewing the proposed special exception application, village staff considered compatibility with adjacent land uses, consistency with the village's comprehensive plan, and conformance with the village's development standards for the office commercial zoning district. Staff has determined that this proposed special exception use conforms to village standards, and therefore staff is recommending approval of this application. On August 18th, 2021, Village Council approved a zoning code text amendment to allow birthing center as a special exception use within the office commercial zoning district. The Planning and Zoning Commission considered the application on March 22nd, 2022 and recommended approval by a vote of 4 to 0. And again, staff is recommending approval of this application. And with that being said, Mayor, I'll turn the floor back over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Bradford. Does the applicant have any comments they'd like to make, or are they satisfied with the presentation by Bradford? Okay. Do we have any comment cards submitted in advance?
No, Mayor.
We have anyone with their hand raised, Ray, to talk about
No,
item
Mayor.
R1? We have none?
No.
All right, I have not received any comment cards from anyone here. Is anyone here who would like to comment on agenda item R1? Seeing none, I'm going to close public comment on agenda item R1, open for comments and questions from members on council. If there are none.
I know I do have a question,
All right.
and this is Bradford. You can answer this for me. I don't have a problem with the issue. It was just more of clarification. So we approved this, and it was in one location, and now this agenda item is to approve it for a different location. So my question is, at the previous location, can a birthing center go there, or would they have to then go through the same process again because it doesn't stay with the location?
Okay, so what we approved previously was the text amendment in order to allow for a birthing center, just the idea of a birthing center, and that birthing center being located in the commercial office zoning district, any commercial office zoning district. Now, the special exception is for this specific location and for this specific building.
So it doesn't go. So we weren't specific when we did it before, and then this is specific. Okay, gotcha.
Yep, yeah, that's correct. The last approval was just the code change. This is specific to this actual physical location. So
Okay.
anybody else in that CO zoning district in a different address would have to come before you for special exception to have a birthing center there.
To do that now, can another one, because there are multiple office spaces in where Mr. Prasad is opening up, can another birthing center open up in that?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
They can only occupy the space that was represented in the application. And not only that, but we have a condition of approval that this birthing center cannot convey to another operator. So if this operator continues to operate his business, then the next person that comes in would need to get a special exception use approval approved through council.
Okay, even though it is in the same complex.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve regular agenda item number 1.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? If no opposed, Diane, please let the birthing center. Please let the record show that we gave birth to that the agenda item R1 was approved 5-0. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Agenda item R2 is an approval for the village manager to negotiate 2 contracts for the sale of the village-owned property to Paint Lux LLC and Adamus Investments LLC, totaling $405,000 for approximately a .4882 acre of land located at 6846 Seminole Palms Drive. Ray, you on?
Thank you, Mayor. If you remember, this was before the council probably 4 or 5 months ago when both of these property owners, and they are contiguous property owners to this piece of property, which is village-owned property, requesting to purchase this piece of property. At that council meeting, the council directed staff to sell half to Ideal School, or the new owners of Ideal School, and the other half to Paint Lux. Both of those property owners did give us the money necessary to do the appraisals, and now we're at the point where we need to do the legal descriptions for the deeds and hire a surveyor to do that. So since we had the appraisals and all the details as it relates to the closing, we're putting it on council agenda now to get council's final approval to move forward with drafting the contracts and go to closing.
Okay, do the applicants choose to make any comments? Please. Yeah, that's okay.
Al Phillips with AP Law on behalf of Paint Lux. We're just here and thank you for the opportunity to work with you once again to try to get this property incorporated into some use from that standpoint. So we thank you for the opportunity.
Andrea Kaiser with Kaiser Legal PLLC on behalf of Artemis Investments Groups. It's so nice to be here. Much prefer to be here in person with you. And the gentleman who spoke on consent agenda item number 2, he said old and slow. Today I'm pregnant and slow. So very pregnant with 2 and
Okay.
slow.
Wow.
So please forgive
Okay.
me. I normally don't wear sneakers to work. Today I have to. Just thank you again for the opportunity. You asked us to go back and talk to our neighbors to see if we would be willing to split the property. We've agreed that we can meet the minimum code requirements even if we do that. I just want to make sure I stated for the record, we were trying to guesstimate the number of parking spaces that we could get on the site. We thought it was 100, but really it's only 48. But nonetheless, we are
Boy, that's a big mess.
Yes, but nonetheless, we are still in the spirit of being a good neighbor, and just because we want, we need to meet the minimum parking requirements, we can still do that by splitting half and just reduce our enrollment a little bit, and we're happy to do that. So thank you very much for giving us that opportunity and allowing us the time to make sure we talked about it and discussed it and come to a mutually agreeable solution.
Well, I'm glad that you guys were able to work this out because it was, you know, it was a split the baby scenario kind of. So
thank you.
Thank you. One for each property. Questions, comments, concerns? Ray, did you have any questions, further questions or comments?
No questions.
No? Okay. Any questions, comments from members of council? No?
Need anything from the public?
Well, I just want to find out what any, because this is an unusual kind of a transaction, I guess. So it's, you know, it's the first time we're doing something like this, but we hope everybody's going to be, it's like we wanted to create a win-win kind of a situation for this. So, Diane, was there any advance
No public
comments from the public on this agenda item R2? Ray, anybody got their hands raised?
No, they don't. I thought I would have one person with a hand raised. Paint Lux, the owner is here. His wife is online, but she's not raising her hand to say anything. So I thought I would have one.
Oh, okay.
But she is on listening.
Okay. I do not have any comment cards submitted to me this evening, but if anyone here would like to comment on this agenda item, now would be the time. Seeing none, then I'm going to close public comment on agenda item R2. No further comments then from council. I'll look for a motion.
Motion to approve regular agenda item number 2.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have no opposed. Diane, please let the record show agenda item R2 is approved 5-0, and good luck to all of you on this endeavor.
Appreciate the cooperation.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Agenda item R3 is appointment of 4 residents to the Planning and Zoning Commission. How did you wind up with 4 at the same time happen to be appointed?
Term.
Oh, I'm sorry, P&Z. You don't have to answer that.
That was a trick question, actually.
Yeah. I know, of course.
Yeah.
So I would like to make a motion to reappoint Adam Miller and Philip Marquis to regular seats for another 3-year term expiring March 2025, and reappoint Lauren McClellan and Gerald Brown to alternate seats for another 3-year term expiring in March 2025.
Okay.
Second.
Yeah.
Is that a motion, right, Jen?
That's a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. No questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have no opposed. Diane, please let the record show that the appointments as stated by Councilwoman Wendasky was approved 5-0. Item R4 is an appointment of 3 residents to the Recreation Advisory Board. That is you.
That is me.
3?
Right, 3. Right. We split there too.
Okay.
Thank you very much to everybody who serves on the board. I really appreciate it, and the village does for all your work. We did have 2 residents that wish to be reappointed, and I'd like to just say that the opening seat that we do have is because of Phyllis Katz that is no longer with
Passing
us.
away?
Yes, so
Okay.
it's a bittersweet
Yes.
reasoning for that. So reaching out to her family again, years of service. And we did have several residents that did send in an application for it, and one of them is here tonight, so thank you, Mr. Zomnick, for coming in.
Gentleman there?
Yes. Yeah, thanks. With that, I would like to make a motion to reappoint Sandy Rubin and Leslie Salas Leffler to regular seats for another 2-year term expiring March 2024, and appoint Jordan Schiller to the vacant regular seat expiring in 2023, and then appointing Alyssa Freeman as the alternate with the term expiring March 2023.
Okay. Is that 4 people?
Well, what we did is we appointed, there's 3 there, but we had to move one from the alternate
Oh,
seat
you moved
up
one-
into,
one was
we moved
already-
the
I got
alternate,
you.
correct. So
Okay.
it's the alternate seat that we're filling
Okay.
tonight is that
Okay.
3rd person.
Okay. All right.
And that's
Is
my
there a
motion.
It's a motion. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed? Diane, let the record show that the appointments as prescribed by Councilwoman Smith was approved 5-0. Item R5, appointment of 3 residents to the Education Advisory Board.
Great, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, as I mentioned, the Education Advisory Board is going to be hard working this Saturday doing the scholarship interviews, and we really do appreciate all of their hard work and commitment. So I would like to make a motion to reappoint Lisa Ryan to a regular seat for another 2-year term expiring in March 2024. Also to appoint Jennifer Sullivan to a regular seat for a 2-year term expiring, again, March 2024. And to the alternate seat, I would like to appoint Nancy Panea for a 2-year term expiring also in March 2024.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have no opposed. Diane, please let the record show that the appointees as stated by Councilman Hamera were approved 5-0. All right, is there anything else we need to address? If not, there's nothing else on our agenda this evening. Thank you all for your participation, particularly in the earlier conversations, and we stand adjourned.